Hello, and welcome to the worst fighter in War Thunder. This is the IL-2. The IL-2. And, well, yes, I know this is a ground attack aircraft, so you can shut up about that. But, yeah, this is a fighter. It's a horrible fighter, but that's not going to stop me. So anyway, yes, recently I have been attempting to spade the three mid-tier IL-2s, the IL-2-37, the IL-2-1943, and the IL-2M. So far I've almost spaded the 1943 and the IL-237. The 43 is the one that you're seeing here. And yeah, they're horrible aircraft for what I'm going to use them for, but what the hell. So, why am I using them as fighter aircraft and not as ground attack aircraft? Well, it's because they're not very good ground attack aircraft, at least not in War Thunder. In my experience, the 23mm cannons, even loaded with armored target belts, will not kill medium tanks. The best they will kill, in my experience, is light tanks and maybe light pillboxes if you're lucky, but when do you ever see light pillboxes outside of realistic anymore? And even realistic, it's very rare for the Russians to see pillboxes of any description. It's mostly just tanks. So, light the Dornier 17 on fire, and then I decide, you know what, these things have a reputation for going out, so I'm going to finish him off. And in fact, he did actually put his fire out, so I decide, you know what, let's just go ahead and finish him off so that doesn't happen again. So, kill number 1 for the IL-2. Oh, by the way, this is a ground attack aircraft. In this entire match, I get 2 ground kills. 2. Yeah. So SU-2, he's not stupid to go head on with this thing. Very, very smart. There are 2 good things about the IL-2 in terms of its overall characteristics. The first thing being its durability. This thing is built like a tank. It is extremely difficult to put this thing down unless you kill the pilot. The only thing that is more durable than an IL-2 is a BA-65, which is a Tier 1 Italian ground attack aircraft, and the HS-129, which is a twin-engine ground attack aircraft in the German tree. And in fact, a little bit of trivia, I actually recently purchased the Romanian HS-129 when Gaijin had that up for sale, and actually I think if I get the opportunity, I'm going to buy the pack on. Oh, by the way, this was pretty cool. So 23mm cannons are out of ammunition, and air-to-air rockets kill the P-36, and yeah, I get shot down by the Buffalo, but I was never going to get out of that alive. But yeah, if I can, I think I'm going to buy the P-51 D10 and the P-38K in that pack, because, well, I actually already have the P-47, the P-47M, so if I could get, at the very least, the P-51, then that would be the last of the P-51s that I have yet to get. And if I could get that, that would be amazing. Not like I really fly it, but what the hell, just have another P-51 there. So, this is the IL-237, distinct in the respect that it is the only IL-2 that gets 37mm cannons. That's 37 in the designation. This thing gets twin 37mm cannon with 50 rounds per gun, so 100 total. Most other IL-2 models have the twin 23mm with 300 rounds total, 150 per gun. And then there is the IL-2 1941, which is the first of the IL-2 models. That thing gets 20mm cannons with the same 150 per gun, 150 rounds a gun, and 300 total. The IL-2s, with the exception of, well, actually no, all of the IL-2s also have two 7.92mm SCAS machine guns with 1,500 rounds total. Not like these things are really effective at the tiers that they're operating. I mean, it's just two SCAS machine guns, for Christ's sake. External armament for the external armament for the IL-2 can range in anything from 4 RBS 82 rockets and anything from 4 50-kilo bombs all the way up to 2 250-kilo bombs on some models, or 4 RBS 82 rockets and or rather 8 RBS 82 rockets, excuse me. There goes an A-20. All the way up to 8 RBS 132s and 4 100-kilo bombs. And there's another kill. It's an IL-2. So yeah, the IL-2s don't really have the best external armament, but it's not bad. I mean, you can make it work. But what I love doing with these things is going after fighters and bombers in them, because it's absolutely hilarious to watch them just die and then rage in chat from embarrassment. And by the way, yes, this thing has no energy retention, no maneuverability, no climb rate, it's slow, it's heavy. This is just the worst fighter in War Thunder. All of the IL-2s are, but that doesn't mean you can't get kills in them. And that's actually the last kill that I ended up getting in this match. The rest of it was just flying around. So how about we have another one, because that was hilarious. So here's another match that I played actually just a few hours ago. With that guy right there, CJAS, or just CJ, because I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce the rest of that. So yeah, and this is in, once again, the IL-2 1943, and this was right after I had unlocked the RBS 132 rockets. These are 132mm rockets. You can set them to detonate at any distance up to 1 kilometer, or you can set them to detonate on impact. Just as a rule of thumb, I pretty much have all of my rockets detonate at 300 meters, no matter the nation, primarily because that's the kind of distance that you really want to be releasing them to kill bombers and also on ground targets. However, I'm not going to be using these things on ground targets. No, we have a special place for these rockets coming up later. So, the first target is a Stuka. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to him. I think the Zero or the Firefly killed him. And then I'm going to turn around and go up to the Ju-88 that we spotted heading towards our bases. So, yeah, there you go, there goes the Stuka. So what is it that I like so much about the IL-2? Well, it's pretty much the exact same reason why people fly the Stuka. It's a piece of junk as in the fighter role, but it's just hilarious to kill things with it. And not only that, but I actually have quite a bit of a record of using the IL-2 in the German tech tree to basically do this same thing. In fact, there's actually been some times where I've taken the German IL-2 up into realistic and done reasonably well with it. It's absolutely hilarious when it happens. But this thing, in comparison to the Stuka, this thing is much better, and the reason for that is the armament. The Stuka, most of the Stuka models, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is the Ju-87, the Junkers Ju-87 Stuka dive bomber. Most of the Stuka models only have machine guns, with obviously the 2G models having twin 37mm cannons that are absolutely horrible. No ammunition whatsoever, very low rate of fire. And then there's the Ju-87 D5, which everyone knows about for having its 20mm gun pods, which are absolutely ridiculous if anyone goes head-on with you. But the biggest problem with the Stuka is its durability. It falls apart the second that anyone shoots at it. Not only that, but it's about as slow as the IL-2, but it's less well-armed. The big advantage of the Stuka, however, is that because it's a lot lighter and it's not as well armored, not as well armed, it can carry a bigger bomb load than the IL-2, which is an advantage for the Stuka, but that's not much consolation to the Stuka pilots, and this is why you never go head-on with an IL-2. That Corsair is dead. Yeah, sure, it may be a ground attack aircraft, but those cannons are going to kill you. So, yeah, in comparison to the Stuka, the IL-2, in my opinion, is better, despite the fact that it's not as maneuverable as the Stuka. Because of the IL-2's increased armament, and by the way, like I said in the last match, all but 2 models of the IL-2 are equipped with twin 23mm cannon and twin 7.92mm machine guns. The only 2 that aren't are the IL-2 1941, which is the very first IL-2 that you get access to, and that thing has 20mm Shevaks. Once again, 2 of them with 2 of the same machine guns. And speaking of Stukas, very good, just shot one down. And then the IL-237, which you saw in the last match. That one has the twin 37mm, which is even more firepower than the 23s. So, in my opinion, the IL-2, in terms of not only... in terms of the fighter role when you need to, or rather going against bombers when you need to, is better than the Stuka. However, the Stuka is more maneuverable than the IL-2, and has a bigger bomb load than the IL-2, which makes it better for the ground attack role, in my opinion. I'm not very good with the cannon on the IL-2, or maybe it is just that you cannot kill tanks with 23mm, but I find it completely impossible to do so. So, yeah. And now we have a B-25 who thinks he's clever. He's going to try to machine gun the IL-2 down, and misses terribly. So we break into a scissors, he loses his elevators, and 132mm rockets do your thing. Yes, that was just an air-to-air rocket kill in an IL-2 against a B-25. You see why I like this thing? P-40, yeah, he saw what happened to the B-25. He's not stupid. P-38, on the other hand, he's a complete moron. Never head on an IL-2, please. Somebody kills the P-40 as I kill the P-38, so that's no longer a problem. And now just kind of lumber back into the match. You know, when there's not a lot of action going on, there really is a lot of time to talk about the IL-2 because of how fucking slow it is. It's kind of like the Stuka and the Firefly in that respect, or the Swordfish. Although, not like anyone flies the Swordfish. At least, nobody with any sense in their brain. Yeah, BB-1 here thinks he's clever. And decides rather better of it. What else can we shoot down? Come on. Give me something to shoot at. Oh, P-39, that'll work. Oh, don't tell me this guy's gonna go head on. He's gonna go head on. You idiot. Well, that was pretty much the rest of the match. That was pretty much the end of the match. The rest of it was basically just flying around waiting for it to end. So, yeah. 6 kills in an IL-2. 1 assist, and yeah. You see, this is why I prefer this aircraft over the Stuka. You could not do this in a Stuka. There's no way in hell that you could do this. And of course, the reason for that is that just because the Stuka has no armament. It just does not have the armament that the IL-2 has, and that really is a bonus for the IL-2. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish up spading these 3 aircraft, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.